Okay, cool. Good morning, Vietnam. Okay, great. The screen share's working. So, I wanted to obviously record my face as I usually do, but my screen share has been massively on the fritz as of late, which is a real pain in the ass because I have absolutely no idea why. I thought it was because of outdated drivers. Um, but I've updated all my drivers. I've found all the optional updates and I've tried to update it and nothing has come of it. So, alas, you guys still can't see my amazing face. Nonetheless, I've been requested, not really requested to be fair, I've been suggested a Sudoku. Um, and I've read the basics, like the rubric, and I will read it again for you guys, but it seems diabolically hard, so I thought, hey, why not record it? Um, I'm also in the middle of having a nice drink of water. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but my friend Marie, he's doing this thing with his church called, I think, 28 Days of Discipline. I think it's called 28 Days of something. 28 Days of Discipline, I think, is what it's right. What is right. And in it, it basically says you need to drink 2 liters of water a day, and it's one of 9 things you have to do. So it's easier to go along with it, given the fact that there are another 8 things on your mind, right? So I have previously many times I have proclaimed that I'm an avid water drinker, but recently I have been lacking. I have to say lacking in that department. I've been going for a lot more fizzy drinks than I'd like to confess. So I am just going to occasionally be taking sips of water because I have become addicted in the past 2 or 3 days. Well, actually, I've become addicted in the past like 6 hours, but I will be addicted. No, I am already addicted. I will be even more addicted in the next 2 or 3 days, is what I'm trying to say. Um, it's interesting, isn't it? I was also thinking about how willing I am to do work, to do like Sudokus, do daily games, do puzzles, record things, but not even remotely willing to to do like assignments and stuff. I woke up today at like 10 a.m. and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna tick off my cryptography assignment. I'm gonna write up some cryptography stuff. I'm gonna do some coding. I'm gonna do my philosophy essay. Um, and I have done none of it because I was sleeping all day. I have no idea why. It might be because my sleep schedule got massively screwed with last week, and I've got a bunch of, what do they call it? Sleep debt? Is that what they call it? I think it's sleep debt, isn't it? Sleep sleep debt. Sleep sleep debt. Yeah. Yeah, I sure that works. I feel like there's a more formal term for it, but hey ho. Okay, guess we should get started. Um, oh God, sorry. So, Albert, Bertrand, Carl, and David. No, feel like that's obviously there's Bertrand Russell, Carl Jung, I guess, and then David. I don't know if it's David Hume or David Hilbert, and Albert. I don't know if it's Albert Einstein or Albert Camus. But was Einstein really a logician? Was Hilbert really a logician? Yeah, I guess Hilbert was a logician. Probably more so of a logician than Hume. All right, anyway. Um, are perfectly logical Sudoku solvers. They are shown the following 4x4 Sudoku grid with these rules. Normal 4x4 rules apply. Digits in cages sum up to the value in the top left and may repeat if allowed by other rules. Each solver is privately told the value of one variable. Albert is told A, Bertrand B, Carl C, and David D. Then they then have the following conversation. Albert says, "Nobody here can place any digits yet." Bertrand says, "Now I can." Carl says, "No one else was told the same number as I was." And David says, "Someone here knows more digits than I do." After this exchange, one of the 4 solvers completes the Sudoku. Can you do the same? Now this reminds me of a joke about logicians, where I think it's okay. Let me see if I can remember it. 3 logicians walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Are all of you drinking?" Logician A says, "I don't know." Logician B says, "I don't know." Logician C says, "Yes." Ha 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 ha. The reason why that joke works is because The only way that logician A could possibly say, I don't know, is to are all of you drinking, is if he doesn't know the answers to B and C and knows that his answer is not no. Because if his answer was not no, he could say not all of them were drinking. Therefore, logician A's answer is definitely yes. Same logic applies for B. So A and B are both yes, and then C has the affirmative answer or has the final answer, basically, based off of whether or not C wants to drink. So basically, that logic is what we're going to kind of be following today, in the sense of people have no knowledge at the start, or people have their own personal sets of knowledge. And as that knowledge is shared with the group chronologically, more information comes into play, which is fascinating to say the least. Fascinating, fascinating. So let's get going. Normal 4x4. So the first thing obviously you want to think is about A, right? What can A be? Or not A's cage, specifically the digit A. That's what's standing out to me. Because the fact of the matter is Albert knows that obviously D and B can't place anything, just based off of virtue of Sudoku, like you just can't place anything. Um, because of like even if this was like a 3, the most restrictive thing, this could be a 2-1 or a 1-2. Um, A also can't place a digit here, which also makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Um, so the interesting thing about all of this is the fact that A knows that C can't place anything. Now, what does that mean? A knows that C can't place anything. How can A know that C can't place anything? A would have to know that C wasn't 4-3-4 or 1-2-1. Because if this was a 4, if C was 4, then this becomes 1-2-1. And that is the only possibility. And similarly, if it becomes 11, if C is 11, this becomes 4-3-4. So A knows for a fact that C can't place anything. So what does that make A? What does that make A? And so I'm gonna write some stuff down. Or I was gonna write some, oh, there we go. It's on my lap. So A knows that C can't place anything. So what does that make A? A can't be a 4 because A can't place anything. It can't be an 11 either. So A can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Hmm. And if A was, let's say, an 8, then A wouldn't know for a fact that C was. A wouldn't know for a fact that C wasn't 4 or 11, right? Albert wouldn't know. Because if 8 or above, I particularly mean, but let's consider 8, right? Let's consider 8. So 8 can be, what can it be? It can be 2-4-2. It can be 1-3-4. It can be, what else can it be? 1-3-4. I think those are it, right? Oh, it can be 3-2-3. So this could be 3-2-3. No, wait, no, not 8. No, 8 works. 8 works. Sorry, 9. If it was a 9 or higher, sorry, yeah, because yeah, okay. 8 works. 8 specifically works because of 3-2-3. 3-2-3 forces this to neither be a 1-2 or a 3-4. Which means that um C therefore couldn't be placed, or this digit couldn't be placed. Um Sorry, let me be more clear about that. If this was an 8, if this was an 8, A would not know. No, A could know that C can't place any digits. Or A could know. Okay, okay, right. I think eight's just confusing me. Let me try nine. Nine seems a little simpler. So nine can be two, three, four, or four, one, four. Okay. Now, in any case, this couldn't be. If this was two, this would be three, four. That would force one, two, and then this could be three or four, which is fine. Couldn't be a one. Wait, but how can A know that that can't be a one? In the nine instance, how could A know that that can be a one? Okay, let me think a little bit harder about like what this is actually saying because I think I'm kind of just throwing numbers about. We told the value of one variable. A has to know. What does A have to know? A has to know that C isn't 4 or 11. A, from his number, Albert from his number, has to be able to deduce, that 4, that Carl can't have 10 or 11. Okay, wonderful. Can't have 4 or 11. Jesus Christ, Michael. Maybe I'm a bit too tired after being so lethargic today. Okay. Now, how can A deduce? I think that A has to be able to say that you have to have in here one of one, two, sorry, one of one and two, and one of three and four, I think. So it could be like one, three, can be two, three, one, four, and two, four. Because he needs to be able to say that C can't have the pair one, two, or the pair three, four, which means that the pair has to be deconstructed in here. Each pair has to be deconstructed in here, which means that, as I say, you either have a 1-3 or a 2-3 or a 1-4 or a 2-4. Those are the options. Okay. And you have to be able to guarantee, you have to be able to guarantee this. If you had a 6, if you had a 5, you certainly couldn't guarantee this because this could be 2, 1, 2. So if you had a 5, you couldn't guarantee this. So remember that A is currently 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Can't be an extreme because then Albert would be able to place stuff. It can't be an extreme number. It can't be 4 because then this would be 1, 2, 1. It can't be an 11 because this would be 4, 3, 4. So those are the remainders. Sorry, those are the remaining ones. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now what? Oh, sorry, yes. Okay, now what is it can't be a 5 because then this would be 2, 1, 2, and then you can't say anything about these two, or Albert can't say anything about these two, so it can't be a 5. What about a 6? I think the same thing applies. This could be a 1, 2, and a 6, and this could be a 3. And then this could be a 4-3. So this being a 6 means this could be a 1-2, which means this could be a 3-4 or 4-3 specifically, and this could be a 4, which means that Albert wouldn't know that C couldn't place anything with a 6. Okay, now let's go the other direction. What about 10? This could, in a 10, you either have 4-2-4, but you could also have 3-4-3. You could have this be 3, this be 4, and this be 3, which would create a 1-2, or 1-2 specifically, and then 1. Which would mean it couldn't be a 10. Can't be a 10. Which means it's a 7, 8, or 9. What about 9? By symmetry, I really want to be able to kick out 9, right? 9 can be 4-1-4, which would be what we would want, or what Albert would want. Or it could be 2-3-4, but then that creates a problem because this could be a 2, and this could be a 3, this could be a 4. And then this could be a 1-2, 1-2, and this could be a 1. Which means I don't think 9 can be it either. But this feels awfully restrictive, but I guess it kind of has to be. I wonder how many different sudokus there are. Oh, 4x4 sudokus, I mean. Let's think about it. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 options, 3 options, 2 options, 1 option. 2 times 1, because those have no bearing on these ones. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. I'm gonna pencil mark them in, but I'm not pencil marking in anything like. I'm just thinking how many options there are. 2, 1. I'm just doing some maths now. This can be 4, and then this forces 1. Yes, I know. This can then be 3. This can be 1. This can be. There are then 2 options for this one. Yeah, 2 options and then 1 option. There are. 24. I think now there's only 1 option. Oh, there's 1 or 2 options for this. And this is an awful way of pencil marking things. I mean, I'm only doing it for multiplication's sake. I kind of want to say it's 24 times 4 is 96, times 2 is 192, times 3 is 576, 1152. See, I feel like this can't be right. There are 4 options for this, 3 options for this, 2 options for this, 1 option for this. Then there are 2 options for this, 1 option for this. So what? I'm not gonna. How many ways? Oh, 24. They know. They know what I'm doing. 288. Complexity. Doesn't actually explain why. Oh well, I'll do the maths at some point later. I'm really bad at combinatorics, unfortunately. Anyway, so I think then okay, let's consider 7 and 8. Does this narrow it down perfectly to what it has to be, a 7 or an 8? If it was an 8, you can have 1, 3, 4, which would make this a 1. Well, in the worst case, this would be a 3, 4. This would be a 1, 2. But then this would be a 1. Well, okay, so if this was an 8, then for this to not split up a pair, so for it to not be a 1, 3 or a 1, 4 or a 2, 3 or a 2, 4, this would have to be the 1. Yeah, because otherwise, if this was a 2, this would be a 2, 4. And if it was a 3, this would be a 1, 4. If it was a 4, this would be a 1, 3, which splits up. So every other one splits up. But if this was a 1, this would be a 3, 4. If this was a 3, 4, this would be a 1, 2. But then this couldn't be a 1 because of this. Which means either way. So in the case of an 8, you're fine. Okay, what about for a 7? You've got 1, 2, 4. You write down 1, 2, 4 for a 7, or 1, 3, 3. And in both cases, you're fine. because one of one in the case of 1, 2, 4, one of one and two has to go down here. Oh wait, no, hang on. 4, 1, 2. Oh, but the same thing applies. This would be a 3, 4, but then a 4 can't go here because of this 4, which means 1, 2, 4 is fine, and 3, 1, 3 is definitely fine because this would be the 3. Sorry, this would be the 3, this would be the 3, and this would be the 1, which means that this is fine. Yeah, okay. So both 7 and 8 work. Okay, both 7 and 8 work. I think that's all that we can deduce from the issue I think here with this logic or with this Sudoku is knowing when you can stop with a certain line of reasoning, or whether or not in fact you have to go back to a line of reasoning. Like, how do we know that Albert could have said, like, does now knowing this state? No, because they're perfectly logical logicians, so I guess not. No. I may need to go and fill up my water in a moment. Okay. So Bertrand now says, now I can. So A is a 7 or an 8. It would be nice if I could like pencil mark that in somewhere, you know? Like on killer Sudokus, if you could pencil mark in the killer number. I guess usually killer Sudokus give you the killer number. So A is 7 or 8. Bertrand now says, well, now I can. Well, Bertrand's numbers are the same as these numbers, right? Just by Sudoku. And Bertrand can place this. So Bertrand would know what these are, and therefore could place that. No. And therefore, in order for him to be able to place anything, it would be this number that he can place. Because this didn't say anything about D. Or the previous lines of reasoning didn't say anything about D and says very little about C. So I think if B knows anything, it's this number. Can't place these ones, can't place these ones, can't place these ones, definitely. Can't place these ones, probably can't place this one. And then this, I don't think you can place this one. These two are necessarily convolved. And can he place this one? No, because he doesn't know anything about A's number, about C's number. He just knows about A's number. Okay, so I think if anything, B is placing this number. Um, which also means he's placing this number and this number. Um, but anyway, okay, what does that make B? So B could be 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. B was a 3, 2. This becomes a 1, 2. If this is the 1, 2, this is a 4. Okay, which is currently fine, and that's actually a good thing because it would mean that you can place something. If it was a 4, then this becomes a 1, 3. This becomes a 1, 3. Which is problematic because then Bertrand can't place this because this could be a 3 or it could be a 4 because you could have it be 1, 3, 4, which adds up to 8, or 3, 1, 3, which adds up to 7. And so Bertrand also wouldn't know that, so Bertrand would still not be able to place a digit. So 4 doesn't actually work. Well, that's not what I was going to expect to happen, but I guess so. All right, is the same logic true for 5? If it was a 5, this would be a 1, 4, for example. If this was a 5 and this was a 1, 4, then this would be a 2, 3. Uh, no, sorry. If this is a 5 and this is a 1, 4, this would be a 1, 4. And this could be a 2 or a 3, which again doesn't eliminate enough. It doesn't eliminate enough, so I don't think 5 works. If it was a 2, 3, though, it doesn't really matter. If this was a 2, 3, this would be a 2, 3, and this would force a 2. But we can't. He doesn't know that it's a 2, 3. So the fact that it's a 5 means that it could be a 1, 4, which means this could be a 1, 4, which means this could be a 2 or a 4, 2 or a 3. Um. Okay. What about 6? We're gonna eliminate everything here except for 3. That'd be really nice. Um. If this was a 6, then this can't be a 1, 5. This would be a 2, 4. This would be a 2, 4. This would be a 2, 4. And then this could be a 1 or a 2. Oh, great. Okay, yeah. This could be a 1 or a 2, which means Bertrand again couldn't place it. And if it was a 7, then this would be a 3, 4. This would be a 3, 4. Oh, 3, 4 means you can place. So, okay, at least we know this is a 1 or a 4 and this is a 3 or a 7. So B is a 3 or a 7. Sure, okay. I just wrote 3 and 4. 3 and 7 is what I mean. So this is a 1, 2 or a 3, 4. Okay, okay. No one else was told the same number I was. Okay. No one else was told the same number I was. I'm going to move on because I don't think I can really derive anything else from that. Um, yeah, no one else was told the same number that I was. So that means that C isn't. What is C? What can C be? Oh, I've got my charger up around my leg. Okay, C is currently, it can't be 4 or 11 for the aforementioned reasons. She's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Mm, okay. I think it's worth doing some highlighting. This is red and yellow. This is red and yellow. No, no, it's not. It's not worth doing any highlighting. What am I talking about? Um, okay. How can C know this? C knows that A is 7 or 8 and B is 3 or 7. And if B is 3, B is 3, that's a 1, 2, that's a 1, 2, that's a 4. If B is so that's a 7 then. If B is 3. If B is 7, if B is 7. If B is 7, then A is 8, which means that in either case there's a 7 that's used. So C is 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. But can we say okay, what does Carl know about David's number? He knows no one else has told the same number as I was. David is 3, 4, 5, or 6. And currently there is absolutely no way to know what it is, which I think means Carl can't have 5 or 6. Because if he did, then he wouldn't be able to guarantee that David doesn't have a number. I think. That's crazy. That is so weird. That is so weird. Yeah. God, I'm so uncertain about this logic, but I'm pretty sure that because we don't know that David, or because Carl doesn't know what David's number is, or has no real way of knowing what David's number is, he can't guarantee that it's not a 5 or a 6. But because he said no one else was told the same number as I was, we can guarantee that Carl doesn't have a 5 or a 6. I think, which means Carl is an 8, 9, or 10. What what the hell does that mean? I'm gonna quickly go and was going to go and fill up my water, but I feel like I'm getting somewhere. My sink is currently smashed to pieces, so I would need to go to the kitchen. It would take a little bit longer, so I'm not going to do that right now. Um, no one else was told the same number as I was. I mean, C is an 8, 9, or 10. Yeah, this is a 3 or a 7. Oh, oh. No, I was just thinking something. Oh, sorry. I just started staring at the Sudoku pad. and I've just started seeing, that optical illusion of having like grey dots appear in the middle of white space. Um, sorry. Anyway, what I was thinking is that if this is a 3, 4, like for a 7, then this would have to be a 1, 2, but then you can't make 8, 9, or 10, can you? Which means that can't be 3, 4, and it can't be a 7, which means that I think has to be a 1, 2 pair. I think. It's so much more satisfying putting in half of the numbers possible in a 4 by 4 because half the numbers possible is only a 2 by 2. Is only 2 digits. Um, which means that's a 1, 2. Which means that's a 4, I think. Okay. See, when I looked this up to find it, I saw that Cracking the Cryptic had a video about it, which makes sense considering my friend Isaac, who suggested this to me, has been on a binge watch of a bunch of Cracking the Cryptic videos recently. Um, and they had like an hour-long video on it. So I feel like maybe my logic is flawed because there's no way that 25 minutes. Maybe I'm just good at logic. I mean, I'm a mathematician. Or maybe it just gets way harder afterwards. But I've gone through 3 of the steps so far. 2, 1, 2. That's a 3, 4. Which makes that a 1 or 2 or a 3, obviously. So that's an 8, 9, or 10. Oh, that's also a 4, and that's a 3. Like I said earlier. Is it worth pencil marking and everything? No, because this could currently be like this could be 1, 2, 3, or 4 currently. Um, I mean, this is a 1, 2. That's worth pencil marking. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 1, 2, 3. No, okay. All right. Is there anything else that I can deduce from Carl's statement? Carl's annoying statement. No one else has told them to say number as I was. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that could be 3, 4, 3, right? Okay, what about this? What about this? This can be, what can D be? Can't be a 1, 2, because then what would this be? Can it be a 1, 3? Okay, 3, and I'm assuming it can be a 2, 3 as well. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, the only thing I can't. Okay, let's think about the last one. David said someone here knows more digits than I do. Someone here knows more digits than I do. What does that mean? If this was a 1, 3, then David would be able to place that one as a 4, that one as a 3, that one's a 1, that one as a 2. Be able to place that as a 2. Actually, yeah, okay, okay. The only one that can place more digits than David can isn't Albert, obviously, because what else can Albert place? And it isn't Bertrand, because what else can Bertrand place? So it has to be Carl. And Carl knows this. This is what Carl knows. He knows if it's an 8, 9, or 10. And then from that, if it's a 1, then he can place that 1 and that 1. That 2, sorry. If that's a 2, he can place that as a 1 and that as a 2. If it's a 3, he can place that as a 4 and that as a 3. So in any instance, Carl can place 3 more numbers. But if it's a 1, okay, so it can't be a 1, 2. If it was a 1, 3, 1, 3. If it's a 1, 3 pair, then like I said, with a 1, 3, let, let me think about it more as like 4, 5, 6, 7, because that's less ambiguous. More ambiguous, which is what we should be doing. Um, because there's no way we're going to be able to place the pair. I don't think. I think we can place the number. So if it's a 1 3, then this gives him this and one. It gives him this and this and this and this and this and this and this is kind of fucked over here. I think potentially this is screwed over here. Um, so that can't be a 1 3. So D isn't 4. D is currently 4, 5, 6, or 7. It's not a 4. Okay. Can it be a 5? And this was a 2 3. Oh, oh. This can't be a 3 4 either for the same reason it can't be a 1 2. If this was a 6, this would have to be a 2 4. So okay, oh, the thing is with 4, 5, 6, and 7, the only number that is ambiguous in this particular situation where we know that this is a 3 or a 4 and this is a 1 or a 2, the only one that's ambiguous is a 5 because this would be a 1 4 or a 2 3. And if it's not ambiguous, so if it's a 1 3 or a 2 4 or a 3 4, then D can place everything, which means that D can't be a yeah, D can't be a 6. D has to be a 5. So D has to be worth 5. Oh my God. Okay. So we know that we know that A is 7 now. A is 7. We know that B is 3. We know that C is 8, 9, 10. We know that D is 5. Okay, I really need to go and get it. I need to go to the toilet and take a piss. I just said the same thing. I need to go to the toilet and goodness me. Yeah. And I need to go to the toilet and I need to get some water. So I'll be back in like a minute 30. I'm also going to mute myself because I have an ensuite toilet. Okay, sorry. I had to go to I went to fill up the water and then I went to the toilet and then I realized that I had to go and wash my hands in the sink again in the kitchen, which meant I took one extra trip than was necessary. God, I may be good at logic, but well, hopefully I'm good at logic. I don't know if any of the steps I've said have been stupid, but I may be good at logic, but I'm not particularly good at efficiency, so it seems. Um anyway, all right, where was I? A is 7, B is 3, C is 8, 9, 10, or D is 5. Okay. And we don't know which of 5 it is. Um, okay. I feel like I've now just run into a brick wall. Um, I just wanna sleep on. Sorry. Um, Hmm. Maybe now it might be worth penciling things in. Not really. I mean, not really. After this exchange, one of the four solvers completes the sudoku. What happens? What happens if this is a two, or in fact a one? If this is a two, then this becomes your one four. This becomes your three. One, four. But then you get a two one here, and you get a two one here, and then you can't complete the Sudoku, which is I think what they want you to do, or what they want Albert, Bertrand, Carl, and David to do. Or no, not what they want them to do, but what Albert, Bertrand, Carl, and David don't do is get trapped here, with this being a 1-2 pair, which makes me want to say that this can't be a two. Because if this was a two, again, okay, let me run through this in my head properly. If this was a two, then because this is a five, this has to be a one, this has to be a four. That's a three remaining, which means this is a 1-2, this is a 1-2, this is a three. But then you have 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, which is unsolvable. Like you can't, like, both solutions work. Um, there's a word for that in Sudoku. I can't remember what it is. Um, you can't not break it. You can't, I mean, solve it. You can't solve it, but you can't, like, it's still un can be, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think that can be a two. Can it be a one for the same reason? If that was a one, this is a two, three. This is a four. Hmm. This is a two, three. This is a two, three. This is a one, two, three. This is a one, two. This is a one, two, three. This is a one. This would be a two. This would be a one. That doesn't really do anything. This being a two, three makes this a four. This a three. But then what goes on with these remaining ones, though? Can you solve them? The fact that it's a four by four is probably quite useful, actually. It's probably why you can say this so easily. If this is if this is a two, three, and this was a two, this would be a three, this would be a three. Then you're left in the same problem here with the 1-2, 1-2. Testing, testing. So if this was a 1-2 pair, you'd have a problem. So if this was a one and this was a three, and this was a two, this becomes two. This becomes one, this becomes two. This becomes one, this becomes three. Well, that's really annoying. Why does that work? 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3. Hmm. Okay. If this was a three, then This is a 1-4. This is a 2. This is a 2. Oh, hang on. This is a 3. And this is a 1. And this is a 4. This is a 2. This is a 2. This is a 2. This is a 1. This is a 1. Both of these work, though, don't they? Paul knows what this is. And into a bit of a brick wall here, I'll be honest. Um, because both of those have, I think, valid solutions. So if Carl puts down a 1, and he knows this is a 2-3. Wait, okay, wait, hang on. If Carl puts down a 1 here, and this becomes a 2-3 pair, and this becomes a 4, this becomes a 2, this becomes a 3. No, sorry. This is a 1, this is a 4, this is a 3, this is a 2. Sorry, my bad. 1, 4. This is 2, 3. This is 1, 2. This is 2, 3. But then you can't. Okay, okay. Let's run through this. If this was 2, 3, if this was a 4. If this was, then this would be a 2, 3, and this would be a 1, 2, 3. Right. Um, that can't be disambiguated, can it? That's it, disambiguated. Sorry, that was the word I was thinking about. God, just comes to you, I guess. Disambiguated, yes. So if that's 1, 2, like you can't say which one this situation is. If this was a 1, you wouldn't be able to say which situation it was. I think 2, 3, 2, 3. That's a 3, that's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 1, that's a 3. That works. If that's a 2, that's a 3. That's a 2. No, I just did that. If that's a 3, that's a 2, that's a 2. What am I doing? That's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 3. All of them yield valid solutions. You can't disambiguate if that's a 1. Which means I think that's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 4. I think that's the only way that they can, because the fact that they said one of them goes on to complete the Sudoku means that you can disambiguate. Obviously, you have to be able to disambiguate, which I think. Oh, 3 in the corner. Um, Okay, cool. What the hell? That's so weird. That's so weird. Wait. So if I did that, so if that was a one, the problem would be that I couldn't disambiguate. But because it says that one of the four solvers completes the Sudoku, that means that I can say that we have to be in the case where you can disambiguate. But I really like using that word now that I've remembered it, don't I? Okay, I think that's a valid solve. I think that logic makes sense. All right. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.